Hi there, I'm Autumn Cullen with Whole Story Meals. I'm the founder. We are also here with Emily Vernon. She is our marketing director, and we're just here to discuss a few of the frequently asked questions about Whole Story Meals and hopefully help you guys understand a little bit better what it is that we do here. So, hi, Emily.
Hi, Autumn. How are you tonight?
Good. How about yourself?
Well, cooking dinner, all the good stuff.
I know I don't have you for very much time. So thank you for, taking a little bit of time out and coming and chatting with me and helping talk about whole story meals and helping, other tube fed people understand, how important nutrition is and, what we value.
Yes, and we did forget to mention that I also have a daughter who's tube fed, and so that's how I came across Whole Story Meals, and I wanted to ask some of the questions that we get frequently, like you said, to help our tube fed individuals understand, because it's a little bit of a unique product that you created. So one of the top questions is, why is it a powder? I don't think a lot of people understand it is a powder. You do add liquid to it. It is not a liquid that it comes in. So could you explain that?
Yeah. Well, originally, like why I chose the powder was because I was backpacking with 5 children and wearing Story Grace, and I needed something really lightweight and manageable and shelf stable, because when you're blending meals, then it's a liquid, it's heavy, it needs to be refrigerated, perishable, So I decided to research, ways that I could feed my daughter well, still healthy, but also get, my 4 boys and I and Story Grace all out backpacking. So that's why I did a powder. It's actually been absolutely amazing because there's so much control over the caloric density. If you want to drink it like a thin shake, you can do that. If you want a low volume, high calorie meal, you can also make it really thick, and you can add a variety of liquids. You can add, dairy, you could add a little bit of juice. There's just so many options out there that can, really fit it for an individual. And so people with dysphagia can have it.
Right.
That they can eat a little bit by mouth, but they're kind of struggling. Well, you can make it the exact consistency that works for them. So it's been a lot of fun in creating a product that can be helpful to so many.
Yeah, and I love that you can have it for oral eating because it tastes so good, and you can add different things to it. You could add it to yogurt, you could add it to the food you're cooking. So it has a lot more versatility, I feel like, as a powder than just already made liquid to it.
No, I don't think people realize this, but I add the chicken, peas, and carrots to my ground beef when I'm cooking.
Oh,
I know it's actually really good. It adds a really yummy flavor. And so, you know how like you would add taco seasoning? I add chicken, peas, and carrots.
well, I haven't tried that. I'll have to try.
So it's a way to get your fruits and veggies in.
Do the boys notice it?
No, it just tastes good as flavor. So it
Right.
just adds flavoring to it. So they've never said a thing about it.
Well, you also eat the chicken, peas, and carrots just as like a warm soup yourself.
Yeah, and I actually drink it. I don't know, like a shake. I really love to drink the chicken, peas, and carrots. It's just like such a warm, comforting, I don't know. I love it. And then the kale, quinoa, and berries, I like to do it. I don't know if you've ever heard of a smoothie bowl,
Yeah.
the acai bowls. Okay, so you can go spend like big money at a little shop, to have them made for you. Or at home, I just add a little bit of cold water to the powder, and it's very similar to a smoothie bowl.
It does have
And
a similar, like, kind of like sweet, but not overly sweet of a nice acai bowl. So yeah, I could definitely see that.
yeah, and it's super easy to make, and it's always ready. I don't have to run the blender. I just add a little bit of water and stir it and eat it. And I like it that thicker consistency than the liquid because it has more flavor. So
Right.
I really love the flavor. So I want that thicker, stronger consistency so I get more of the flavor.
Well,
And
and
then
like you're saying, like the powder makes it to where you don't have to use a blender. Like that's one of the best things about the powder is you don't have to use. You just shake it up and use it as needed.
Right? Yes. No, and that was really, it's been really helpful for us, like flying home, visiting family, going through the airport. In the past, for my blenderized meals, we would take these big coolers of frozen food, and we're like going through the airport, and I'm having all my kids carry all the stuff that we have. And
Yeah.
then I also did a thermos of really hot, like I would get it really hot, like 4 a.m. I'm in there,
Yeah.
heat up the food, pour it into the thermos so that, I did have something that was defrosted, but it still needed to be, it's,
Warmed up some.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So, um, that kept it longer through the day, putting it in a really high heat. And so it actually worked, but it was a very painful process. And so now I just take a bag of my powder, and I have a shaker bottle, and then you can get water, on the
Yeah. You can
plane.
get water from anywhere.
So yeah, so it's changed our lives dramatically.
Awesome. So another question is, how is Wholesome Meals shelf stable for up to 2 years unopened, right?
Yes, yeah. So we chose, like, doing my research, having a daughter that is severely disabled, and I want, the absolute best for her. How do I get the most nutrition in this girl as absolutely possible, right? Like, just what do I do? So I did the research, and I realized that freeze drying really maintain the nutritional integrity of foods better than heat treating. There are two ways to make a product shelf stable: expose it to high temperature or remove the moisture so bacteria cannot grow and cause spoilage. So those are the two ways you can do that. So you can do heat treating, it is effective, but you do lose some of the nutritional value. And so that's why I chose to do the freeze drying.
Awesome. And keeping that shelf stable is important because a lot of our customers use it for like when they go to the hospitals or like you said, when they travel. So you don't have to worry about it spoiling
Right.
in your pantry if you have it there, even if it's just for emergency use too.
Right. Yeah, that's really important. And even for me, like, we just throw it in the diaper bag and always have some on hand just in case we forget something while we're out. It's just always available to us. And in the past, I'm hauling around glass mason jars that are breaking, and it's a disaster. So yeah, so now it's been really handy to have something that is shelf stable, and then something it's that's not just shelf stable, but high quality of a food is absolutely possible.
Which is the whole reason why you created it, to have the highest quality possible for Story Grace.
Our little story, Grace, only the best.
That's right. We always say that our kids who are tube fed with blend diets are fed the most healthy foods out of anybody in the entire household.
Yes, I know.
Majority of us.
But yes, traditional medicine, it seems, would be okay with our kiddos eating, a diet of like 55% sugar, and that's not cool. It's really heartbreaking and very scary. So I think, out of anyone in our family, my kids and I, my boys and I, we kind of can recover from things a lot faster than my daughter. And so she definitely deserves all the support that she can get to have as healthy of immune system and digesting her foods, and any extra help that she can get. Like, we definitely want to give that to her. So definitely think that she deserves, and I know you agree,
Yeah, for
best
sure.
diet, of all of
Sometimes
it.
their bodies have to work extra hard, and so giving it to them in the best form possible where their body doesn't have to work as hard to get those nutrients and absorb them, I think is super important. I think a lot of our parents and tube fed individuals can agree with that. If you can give the body the best form of it, it can absorb it better, it can digest it better. So that's awesome.
And then we also do, for our seeds, like a cold process. Seeds are filled with like delicate essential fatty acids that will oxidize and spoil quickly when heated. So, we use these omega 6s and omega 3s fatty acids for growth and brain health. And we really want them to be intact. And there's a lot of vitamins, vitamin C and vitamins A, D, and E, they'll start to break down, under heat. just for us, instead of heating them to that high temperature, we just remove the moisture and they stay, shelf stable for that. And then once you open the bag, it's not really until you start adding the water that the spoilage process starts. So we say that you can, once you open a bag, it's good for 30 days. So it actually, for those that are adding it to blends, it's really great. So you've got plenty of time to, once you open your bag, to use it. You can go as slow as you want.
And like you said, you can keep it in your car in a diaper bag because you never know. I mean, we all know how doctor appointments go. They can last forever. They can be backed up. And you're like, shoot, if you only brought 2 things of frozen food, then you're out and they're hungry. So I think it's great.
Yeah.
And then we get asked a lot also, like, are they organic, non-GMO? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. Okay. So the specific ingredients are non-GMO. And then as far as organic, we choose organic when we can. That's not always possible. So to the extent that we can, we'll choose organic ingredients.
Okay, just a couple more questions that we get frequently. One of them is, how do you recommend that we feed the whole story meals to our individuals?
Yeah. So, well, we never really recommend with a blenderized meal feeding through the kangaroo pump. It just really is difficult and doesn't work very well. So most people either use an infinity pump or a syringe feed. One thing, a lot of people doing blenderized diets do modifications to the infinity bag. What's really awesome about the chicken peas and carrots is you don't have to modify it all. You can just, shake it up, pour it in, and just hit run and it goes. So that's really fabulous. The kale, quinoa, and berries is slightly more tricky. You can modify it and run it, or you can syringe feed it, is what we recommend, is syringe feeding the kale, quinoa, and berries. And that works really well.
Awesome. And it's great to have options with this as well. You can, again, change the consistency of it because it's a powder really easily without damaging or changing what's in it and the volume very much. So that's awesome too. And then, of course, we always get asked about, is it covered by insurance?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, whole story meals is covered by most insurances. You'll have to check with your plan, but let us know if you need help getting set up with the DME. If you need help, ask, with anything with insurance, just send us an email, contact us. We will answer all the questions that we can. We'll even contact your DME and help them get set up with whole story meals. Just let us know how we can help and we'll definitely try.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad we got together and did these frequently asked questions for everybody.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Emily.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely contact us if you guys have questions or a way we can help, anything else you want to hear us talk about, or questions you have. Just make a comment or shoot us an email and we'll address that for you.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.